participating. Alan, thanks especially for coming up. It's always good to have folks from back home contribute to this process, and thank you for your service to our state. Help me, because when I heard you were coming up, I was excited, but I didn't expect you to be on this side of this issue. You've taken some positions that I support in other areas, from health care to gay marriage to EPA regulation. You've been taking the position against Federal control. And I read your testimony today, not the stuff that you were able to get to when you opened, but your testimony is got some really good lines in it. The members of this committee should recognize that under our Constitution, particularly the 10th Amendment, the states have virtually exclusive authority over gambling. Each state is entitled to decide for itself how or to whether together. Congress has always recognized the preeminent state interest in gambling regulation. I could go on. And then to have you come up and take a position here that sounds like you're for Federal control, I can't square those two things. I've got this last quote, which says that the DOJ opinion strikes at the very heart of it should not legalize gambling activities that states make illegal. I get that, and I agree with that. The Federal government should not legalize stuff that the states have made illegal. But I'm waiting for the other half of that statement, Mr. Chairman, which is, should the Federal government also make illegal that which other states have made legal? And there's 3 states who have done that. So help me square these two things.
I'm going to ask, first off, let me say this. I'm not up here, I'm not going to speak for anyone else today, I'm not up here to say that gambling should be made illegal. I think if New Jersey, my wife's from New Jersey, love your state, if New Jersey or other states want to have a robust gambling industry, they should be free to pursue that. The members in this room who want that should be allowed to have it.
But if the bill passes, that's why she's here. She's afraid if the bill passes, she loses the right to do that.
What we're talking about is interstate commerce, which Congress has the authority to regulate under Article 1, Section 8. There is no dispute up here that Congress can write the Wire Act, that Congress can regulate online gambling because it's interstate in nature. That is not the dispute.
Alan, let me stop you there, because I think that's right. I hope we're moving to an area we can agree on, because I'm wondering if there's not a better way to do what we want to do in South Carolina, where it's not legal, but still allow New Jersey and Nevada to do what they want to do, which is to use technology instead of regulation. If we could figure out a way to make sure that only New Jersey residents gambled online in licensed New Jersey enterprises using technology, isn't that another way to accomplish what you want to accomplish?
I believe that if, online gambling, if it's allowed by the Federal government, you're basically putting every pocket of every teenager or young person who wants to be able to access it.
I get that, but in your testimony, what you say is that the reinterpretation essentially allows states to operate online casinos in states like Nevada, Delaware, New Jersey without any assurance that these online casinos are not being accessed in states like South Carolina. You also say that the original Wire Act, with respect to states' rights and prerogatives, should thus be restored so that casino gambling does not operate over the Internet in the states which have outlawed it in their communities. And what I'm asking you is, isn't there perhaps another way to prevent kids in South Carolina from accessing gambling sites, legal gambling sites in New Jersey, Nevada, or Delaware, other than Federal regulation?
And I don't know that that way exists. I heard Ms. Coleman eloquently say that she believes as a matter of policy that verification can be enforced. I saw the little points up there on the map. I don't know if those were 18-year-olds or if people crossed the river to gamble. But the point is that if you make online gambling legal at the Federal level, then you've basically legalized it in states where they don't want gambling at all.
Your objection to this is not that the information might state lines in the process of going a person in South Carolina access something in Nevada. That's the interstate nexus for you here, correct?
Correct.
So if we could figure out a way to fix that, I would simply suggest if there's a way to fix it through technology that Mr. Liparelli has mentioned, maybe that is an alternative and less intrusive way to deal with the issue, and here's why I care. And I have all the respect for my colleague from New Jersey, but unbeknownst to you and maybe the other folks on the committee, in fact, maybe folks on the committee here, she's introduced a bill that has a lot of similarities to what Mr. Massey mentioned earlier, which is to ban Internet ammunition and gun sales through a similar requirement to what you've just been talking about here, by making people actually show up in person to show their ID. I can't remember the name of the bill he's seen, and that's one of my fears here, is that they're asking you to, instead of being consistent in the state rights position, to come out and say, well, here's a place where we really do need federal intervention so that people in South Carolina can't access legal internet gambling in Nevada, and then use it as to say, oh, by the way, it really is hard for New Jersey to enforce our state laws on gun control because you can just go online and buy one in South Carolina. And that's what I'm worried about, is that we're going to go through regulation and expand the role of the federal government as opposed to limit it. So anyway, with that, I yield back the balance of my time. Sorry. Go ahead.
May I respond real quick? And Representative Mulvaney, I agree with you on many of your points. I would just add that one of the points regarding, what was the last comment you made? It was the gun control. I absolutely would be against that. I just believe at the end of the day that online gambling is a very unique industry, and that when you make online gambling proliferated across the country, it is very difficult for states like South Carolina to enforce its gambling laws. I believe under the 10th Amendment, states should be able to outlaw internet gambling, but those states that want gambling in there can certainly pass those laws that allow it to occur.
Last question.